channel. Thank you for visiting me today. We're in the greenhouse. We're in the greenhouse. It's finished. We've got rocks on the ground. We've got our storage solutions in here. We are ready for business. So I wanted to film my first video out here of the season. And of course, we're 10 to 12 weeks out from our last frost date. So what does that mean? Seed starting. And I know that a lot of you are still planting your garden. And do that. Plan your garden. Do it all. However, I'm getting a head start on some of my things because I'm going to be planting right in March, a little before our last frost speculated. And then I'm also going to be planting right at. So I'm getting something started now, something started later. And I was going to do this big video of showing you all the things that I was growing, but I mean, this list, so I have it broken down into when I need to plant them. And this list is just a little overwhelming. So I figure if I could just break it up, tell you what I'm planting as I do my seed starts or when I direct sow them, then we could visit a little bit longer and you will know what I'm planting. So today's gonna be a lot of cold hardy stuff and herbs. So how many of you guys plant herbs? How many of you, I assume all of you use herbs in your cooking in some way, shape, or form, in aromatherapy or in a different way. And I have really tried to expand my herb garden a little bit each year. And this year, like I mentioned last time, I think I am going to be adding Korean hyssop. I am not starting them today. I am starting other things that take a while to germinate. And then of course to mature enough to harvest, such as like rosemary and parsley and sage and some basil. So I wanted to show you some of the herbs that I will be starting. And if you don't have a plant that's an herb plant, just think of any of the herbs that you use while cooking and plant that one. Start simple, start with what you consume, start with what you eat. If you're not ready for the veg or you're not ready for the flowers, if it's color can overwhelm me. Can you tell I'm grayish? But so color can sometimes be overwhelming with flower, and I am trying to balance that with also doing some herbs. And I think that that will allow me to continue to grow and learn more herbivory and become hopefully a better gardener and hopefully a better cook. So it's really cold out today, and doing this in the greenhouse allows me to kind of check out exactly how warm it is, how it keeps it out of the elements, because I've never had one before, and I can read and really benefit from the knowledge of reading, but sometimes I'm the kind of person that needs to experience it or see it to really understand how things work. So what I did was, I'll turn this around and show you what I brought out here with me. So this is what I brought out here with me. Here's our little setup with our potting bench. And this I got at Aldi for $25, and then these are just Dollar Tree bins. I just got these for $1 at the store. And you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get started. These are obviously pots that I've had for a while. These are by Jiffy. These are the greenhouses, the small greenhouses that they have, and these are the peat pots that they sell. I've been using these peat pots for a while now, and man, I'm gonna put a clip in here as to how I got it ready. Was put them in here. I've reused these bottoms every year for 4 years now, I think, but I washed them out every year with a little bit of soap and water because you don't want to contaminate anything the next year. So I have done that, and then I got it ready this morning, so I'll show you. So now that the peat pots are ready, they have been warmed with warm water. They've sat for a couple hours to drain all the excess water out of them. I always like to heat up my water to make sure that everything is sterile. I mean, peat is very sterile. It's what you use in hydroponics as well to start seeds. Or, you know, with some berries, blueberries and whatnot, they really benefit from that, that type of growing medium. But they're not necessarily going to breed any type of contaminants. However, you still want to sterilize it, so I use hot water to do that. It doesn't hurt the soil. So I just boiled my kettle and poured it in here, let them expand. They of course come really small in little tiny peat discs, and then they expand. I'm sure most of you have used these before. And I of course label all my little label-y-doos before I get started. So one of the reasons why I like these trays also is because they, I'm gonna continue my seeds, is they have these dome tops where it creates a greenhouse effect. And because the seeds take however long they take to germinate, then, and they don't need light until they break the surface, because they can't photosynthesize without, you know, breaking the surface. I like the fact that it has a greenhouse effect, and it creates its own little greenhouse or environment where I don't have to like monitor it yet. I can put it wherever I need to. I don't have to set up my grow lights just yet. I don't have to do all those things. I just have to, you know, get this part done and then be able to get them in my house, which is a lot of fun. And then my kids like to tell me, oh, they've gone through they're hatching, mommy. I'm like, they're not hatching, they're not eggs. They're germinating. They're going through the process, and then they're plants. So now that I've gone through and I have put all my seeds in my trays, and I've made sure that all of them have their little labels, just because I have a very hard time finding the difference between a broccoli and a cauliflower in their seedling, and I would just want to make sure that I'm planting them in the right place in the garden. So now I take my trusty chopstick and I'm going to cover all of these seeds with dirt. So now that I have covered all of the seeds, now I'm just going to put the tops on them and let them germinate, and hopefully it'll take between 7 to 14 days for some of them. The herbs take forever, so they could take up to 21, some of those. So that's why we start them so early. I'm going to take them back inside because it's still a bit cold. We're supposed to get snow this evening, or this week, excuse me. And you know, I just don't know yet the temperature of this greenhouse, and I have to figure that out. By the way, I use a chopstick because I have them in my house. You can use a pen, you can use your finger. I like to make sure that things are like pushed down a little further. I'm sure you saw some of the hyacinth seeds, or the coriander was on the top, and I need to push them below a little bit more. It's just so that they were below the dirt as I covered them up. So I'm all done with that, and I hope you guys are starting seeds. What are you starting? What are your garden plans? And if you haven't yet already, hit subscribe so you can follow along on our journey. Like I said, we just started our homestead last year and we're learning, so why don't you learn with us? And follow us on Instagram if you aren't already, and that way we can share our journey together. Thanks friends for joining me today. I'll see you next time.